Excuse me, now that I have your attention, may I ask you this question? Why do you believe police brutality continues to exist in this country? Do you believe it to be a systemic problem, or should we judge police misconduct on a case-by-case basis? And what's your opinion on the best course of action to solve the problem? Well, you have come to the right place. You're listening to LA's all-new progressive talk radio station. Of the people, by the people, for the people.
Hey, I sure appreciate that.
It's KBLA Talk 1580. And we got you covered round the clock. Racism, we got you. Progressive politics, we got you. Health and wellness education, we have you covered.
We're going to have to put it back in the hands of the people.
A black-owned and operated, evidence-based alternative radio station for progressive, open-minded people like you and me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Welcome home, LA. We're all in this together.
Let's get it on.
It's KBLA Talk 1580, broadcasting from the heart of LA's Leimert Park. We've got a lot to talk about.
We are going to have to fight. We're going to have to struggle. We're going to have to struggle relentlessly to bring about some peace.
Don't talk. Just listen.
Listening is life-changing. As words become increasingly weaponized and politicized in our community and in our country, sometimes it's easier not to listen. But charitable listening is an act of generosity, a sign of respect.
Just listen.
When we listen actively, we surrender our own assumptions and notions to make space for the ideas of another. In times of turmoil,
just listen.
Listening is the only way forward. Thank you for listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580.
Listen.
KBLA Talk 1580.
The thrill of victory. The thrill of victory. Thrill of victory. Yeah, man.
KBLA Talk 1580 wishes to congratulate Mayor-elect Karen Bass on her historic win as the first woman and only second African-American to serve as chief executive of the city of Los Angeles.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Bass, and welcome back to unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and this is my very first interview, and I am proud that it's here.
We are proud to have you here. What do you want to say to the listeners of KBLA Talk 1580?
I want to say thank you from just, I'm just full of the love that I felt every place I went in the community, and I just want the listeners to know that I promise you I won't disappoint you. I will be accessible. I will never forget where I'm from, and understand that is my primary motivation.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Karen Bass, holding all leaders accountable to you.
No matter who you voted for, no matter who you are or where you live, I will be a mayor for you.
We're KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. And we don't black down. We've got a lot to talk about.
Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. I said, Georgia, a song of you comes as sweet and clear.
KBLA Talk 1580. That's Ray Charles. I could just keep listening and forget to talk. But it is all about Georgia. Today is election day in the Peach State. And we are counting on you, Black Georgia, Progressive Georgia, Woman Georgia, Asian Georgia, Latina Georgia. We are counting on you. We know Georgia was last election cycle, a great example of black women and men. But many of the organizers of the Get Out the Vote, voting rights movement, voter registration movement have been black women. And black women delivered the Senate to Democrats. 50-50 Senate, but delivered it nonetheless. None of these things, like the infrastructure bill, would have been passed, would have been possible had it not been for the work of community organizers on the ground in Georgia. And that's what we're seeing again today. The good news is that the voter turnout appears to be very high. Lots of young voters, lots of Asian Americans who, by the way, Asian American voters were a big piece of that Warnock victory that is more of an untold story, right? We know that black voters were key, but Asian Americans, a lot of the new voters that participated, young Democrats, young voters and Asian voters, black voters, made the difference here. So we'll see. That's the good news. The bad news is, of course, that Republicans tend to vote nowadays on Election Day. They used to be the big users of the mail-in ballots, but now, thanks to the 45th president and all of his prevaricating around the ballot process, Republicans tend to show up today. So we could see a Walker surge today. And it's terrible to me that this is even a close conversation. I mean, I feel kind of bad, and one of the reasons I don't make fun of Herschel Walker more is because I wonder if he's really actually suffering brain damage based on football, playing football, because the way he has trouble articulating his words. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But what I do know is this man, regardless of whatever his communication issues are, is a right-wing, scary MAGA dude. And I do think it's true that he will be a puppet for the Trump agenda, because he clearly doesn't have a grasp on policies, even basic concepts of governance. And so, he would be a scary senator. I mean, this guy would be a scary senator. I kind of felt bad clowning him for talking about werewolves and vampires, because you wonder, where that's coming from. But at the same time, at a certain point, you've got to look at that, where we are, regardless of what the reasons for being here. And you got to look at the agenda, the politics. This is the most extreme case of the MAGA agenda, where the morality doesn't matter, the truth doesn't matter, the person's track record doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that deal with the devil, where you get to have your horrible far-right extreme court. You get to overturn Roe versus Wade. So you look the other way for domestic violence, hypocrisy, grabbing people by the private parts, and more. We are expecting Dr. David Horn, but hey, now's a great time for you to call as well, 800-920-1580. It's Election Day all over America on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Central Neighborhood Health Foundation is a full-service network of federally qualified health care centers that serves local communities throughout Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. CNHF clinics provide low-cost to no-cost, compassionate, comprehensive, quality health care, which includes primary care services for chronic disease and diabetes management, pediatric and women's services, preventive care, vision and dental screenings, COVID-19 testing and vaccines, flu vaccines, behavioral health, HIV, and substance use services. Virtual telehealth visits are available from the comfort of your home with highly qualified physicians and medical professionals. CNHF also provides peer support specialist training and help with housing navigation. Central Neighborhood Health Foundation. Your wellness is our priority. Comprehensive care built on trust and respect. For more information, visit cnhfclinics.org or call 213-536-5815 today today to locate a clinic near you.
Where do holiday happenings take over every aisle? Lowe's, actually. Experience the magic of Winterfest at Lowe's and save on gifts like a Craftsman 243-piece mechanics tool set valued at over $600 if purchased separately, now for only $99. Give the gift of tech this season with a Ring Video doorbell at an everyday low price of $99.99. Explore the festivities of Winterfest at Lowe's, home to any possibility. Offer valid through 12/7 while supplies last.
King C. Gillette is the modern man's answer to their facial hair. With a complete set of precision tools, the King C. Gillette line offers the perfect fit for your facial hairstyle. Want to try something great? Try the Style Master, the quintessential styling tool that every man needs to craft their style. It's a waterproof, cordless trimmer with a long-lasting 4-directional blade. It's extremely versatile and designed to edge, trim, and stubble in 4 directions on any hair length. Master your style with King C. Gillette.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Wow, I didn't realize $380 million has been spent on that race in Georgia so far. That's more than any other race in the country. That's crazy. I said it was Election Day all over America. I guess that's not really true. It feels like Election Day all over America. It's really Election Day just in Georgia, but it feels like all over America because the control, the full control of the Senate hangs in the balance here. If Democrats win, if Warnock wins, that means that Democrats control committees. They don't have to share control. It also takes away the disproportionate power of Manchin and Sinema. Now, they still have power with their little right-wing Democratic agenda, but it takes away some of that power and makes them a lesson to little emperors and empresses. Oh, good. You want to talk to me? I love it. Let's go to Judy calling from Inglewood. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. I'm just calling to say good morning, sweetie. Want to send you some love and just say thank you for doing what you do. You know, it's a wonderful thing. It's good to hear you bright, bushy-eyed, and giving us the information we need to carry on. So just want to say thank you, sweetie.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. I really do. I hope, that KBLA is becoming part of your vibe, part of the things that you do, and I'm so glad you're here with me this morning.
You always, okay? So, yes, KBLA, rock on. One love, Dominique, one love.
One love, Judy. Much appreciation there. Yeah, I mean, I've been encouraged to see how much people are mobilizing, right, around Georgia. People that aren't even in Georgia because they understand that in a way this is disproportionately important to all of us, even those of us that don't live in Georgia, those of us that live in America, those of us that are tired of Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema, acting like they have veto power over the entire Democratic Party. Let's go to Big Phil calling us from Los Angeles. Hotep, what's up? Jumbo.
Good morning, Jumbo. The devils don't sleep. Remember, wake up, hurry up, keep waking up. Go water. We're going to get there. We're going to bring that devil down. Go water. Oh, yeah, we're going to get him.
So you're feeling confident about today. You think Herschel Walker...
Absolutely.
Herschel Walker is Trump's hand-picked candidate. I mean, this is the guy he recruited.
I don't care. I do not care. It's like the presidential election. They look like the president is running. Let's go get him. Okay, and getting back to the Pharaoh, they got the King Tuck here. I see all these light Pharaoh. I have not seen no chocolate Pharaoh yet on TV. Please, give me a break. These people is black, okay? I hate you, okay? They wasn't light complected. I think you mentioned that about the Pharaoh.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is they're going off Egypt now. Egypt now has been colonized by Arabs. So that's not a good example. You got to be historically correct. You got to see who was there during the period you're representing.
Absolutely. You know, a long time ago, Bush went down where I grew up off the South Side. He didn't believe that black can build the pyramid. He went down to the pyramid, Dominique. He was never the same. And you know, they had like every 10, they had 10 posters of kings and queens. They got them in an old barbershop, you know, them kings and queens that happened back in the days. And out of the Bush smile, he could not believe He seen all them black folks. He was never the same. Okay, so I'm gonna land. I'm trying to get out there and see you guys this weekend. Okay, I'm trying to see you guys this weekend. Okay,
see you Saturday and hopefully Sunday too. Sunday, of course, the mayor-elect, our former congresswoman, our former assembly speaker, Karen Bass, is going to officially become mayor on Sunday, and we're welcoming her home to Leimert Park on Saturday. It's going to be a big weekend. Let's go to Ron, calling us from Los Angeles. Hola, Jumbo Hotep. Ron?
Jumbo, Dominique, thank you for accepting my call. I just want to say I'm a true believer that people of Georgia is not going to disappoint us because I was born in Georgia. I was born in Brunswick, Georgia.
Oh,
and I am rooting for Reverend Arnott to cash it in because we need him very badly in the U.S. Senate. And I'm praying on that.
Ron, can you imagine having Herschel Walker in the Senate? I mean, the speeches, for me, it's hard to imagine it. It's so over the top. It's so like bizarre, but it's very dangerous.
You're absolutely correct. He is very dangerous. He is what we call, Malcolm X would call a house Negro. And he loved his master more than his master loves himself. And he would jump whenever they pulled his string. And I totally agree on that. However, I want to change wheels right quick on something. Tomorrow's December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. A little bit of history. 81 years ago, our first black hero of World War II, Dory Miller, aboard USS West Virginia. And he was awarded the Navy Cross. And they named aircraft carrier after him, 2020. It's called the USS West Virginia.
I love the story of Dory Miller.
USS Dory Miller. I'm sorry, USS Dory Miller.
I love the story of Dory Miller. Dory Miller was the one that was a cook, right, who stepped up and had to be a gunner.
That's correct. And no one taught him how to use the machine gun. He had a photographic memory, and he memorized how to do it because no person of color was allowed to operate the machine gun. But since it was an emergency and the ship was sinking and on fire, well, they didn't care who was shooting back at the ship. So,
yeah, I mean, that's one of those ask for forgiveness, not permission moments. He stepped up. I mean, from being like a cook for the ship to be a gunner in a case of an emergency because he had figured out how to do it and save the day pretty much, right?
Absolutely. And guess what? Now everybody aboard ship knows how to use a machine gun.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. So that was a change that took place because of Dory Miller. I did not know that.
Yes. I wouldn't exactly go so far as say everybody, but let's say majority of the shipmates do know how to operate the guns, and mainly because of what happened to Dory Miller. It also goes throughout the military period. Like I was in the Air Force, I was a firefighter, but yet I was taught to use a machine gun, the M16, and in case our base get overrun.
Wow. Well, yeah, thank you for that. Because we say Black History Month is every month, and you always make sure we stick to that, Ron. And by the way, thank you for your service. I'm going to say it every time because I know you did your time in the U.S. military.
Thank you very much, and may God bless you, and God bless the people of Georgia because I know they're going to do the right thing.
Yes, indeed. I believe you're right. I think this is going to be a big deal if they do, because that means Georgia will now be in contention. It can no longer be written off as simply a red state. Appreciate the call, Ron. Let's go to Howard calling us from Watts. Hi, Howard.
How you doing? I was going to call it for the couch side, but I had to get another appointment. But, I'm serious, Dominique. I was going to do that. But I have a couple things I'm going to go through real quick. First of all, the KIPP Academy up there in Figueroa. Did you see on the news where they tore that motel down and made a parking lot out of it?
I did not. That's
Yeah,
right
they tore
next to the
that
KIPP
motel
Academy. So
down.
that's good news. That's a
Yeah.
motel next to a school where kids have to go,
Yeah.
and those motels are crime magnets. Yeah.
And the community and the parents of the school did their job to pressure my granddaughters. Well, my great-granddaughters go there, and it's a good school and all that. And I'm glad they did that. God, I should have made my list. Another thing, the brother was talking about Dory Miller in World War II. You got to give praise out to the Tuskegee Airmen. I'm an Air Force vet. And you got to give
Thank
praise
you
out
for
to
your
the Tuskegee
service,
Airmen.
Howard. I did not know you were an Air Force vet.
Yeah, that's a story itself, but I'm here. I'm here, and I'm thankful and grateful that there's a God up there. There's a God, because he saved me that in doing that 4 years. One thing about the Tuskegee Airmen, I was talking to a doctor I worked with. We were both Air Force vets. He was stationed at Travis. He was telling me at one time Travis was a SAC base, but when I was in the service, Travis was a MAG base where people embarked to go to Vietnam overseas from the West Coast there, and McCord was on the East Coast. But one thing that he pointed out about the Tuskegee Airmen, you remember in the movie, they had to go through a bunch of changes for them to go into combat. And they were just flying around here on the basis of just doing regular routine flying. And one thing he pointed out, when them brothers went over to fight in World War II, they knew their machine. They knew them real well. Like, they knew them better than white boys, because they were shipping them out. They give them their training, bam, they go. But them brothers hung around because they didn't want them to go there and fight. And they just turned it out. And one thing they did, people didn't realize Hitler had a jet. It had jet propulsion. You remember Werner von Braun? He was a jet propulsion man up there in Pasadena. He was a Nazi. They brought him back here in the paperclip type of thing.
Wow, we going all down the Black History Month is every month page today, Howard. Appreciate your thoughts. We've got Dr. David Horn on the phone. He is a political science professor and a Black Studies professor, emeritus Cal State Northridge, Southwest College. He's also a noted reparations activist. He's been at this reparations conversation for decades. Some of us think it's new, but it's not. Dr. David Horn, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning to your well-informed listeners.
So how are you feeling today? I know you track these things down to the minutia. The Georgia race, how is it looking to you?
Well, logically, Reverend Warnock should slam dunk Mr. Walker. It should not even be close, logically. But, racism is far from logical. So it depends on how many white Republicans decide to show up at the polls today, or how many send in mail ballots. Most of the mail ballots, most of the early voting will be Democratic. And some of the voting today, even though it's a work day for a lot of people, some of the voting today will be Democratic. A lot of the Republicans basically have decided that they don't want any part of Mr. Walker. He's just too much of a damaged product. So I fully expect Reverend Warnock to emerge victorious again, as he did back in 2020.
Yeah.
And political logic says that's what will happen.
I mean, then this is the last stop. Obviously, there can be no runoff. This is the runoff. They're saying the early votes are at 1.89 million. So it's a smaller turnout than November 8th already, which seems to be also in Herschel Walker's favor, right?
No. It's not in Herschel Walker's favor right now. Georgia still has more white people than black folk. Mm-hmm. And they still have, in terms of numbers, they still have more Republicans than they do Democrats. It's a purple state. It's not a blue state. and it's no longer just a red state. If you only look at the numbers, it would seem that Reverend Warnock should basically still be in the lead. It really just depends on how many white people decide to go for the okie doke and show up to support Trump's choice. This is not the first time in American history that whites have decided that the white primary, just simply running white candidates, is enough to always control any electoral seat. They also used a secondary device when they were in predominantly black districts that had been made whole by the 15th Amendment. Then sometimes they would run a very unqualified black candidate to basically do just what Herschel Walker is doing, embarrass the hell out of black folk.
Right, and create chaos, yeah. Talking with Dr. David Horner, I'm looking forward to hearing his thoughts on this further on this election and some of the crazy stuff happening at the U.S. Supreme Court right now as well. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where truth prevails. The tricky station is down the dial.
I'm Mike Moore, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The House of Representatives is set to vote on the Respect for Marriage Act today. California Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi says it will be one of the last bills she brings to the floor as Speaker of the House. The measure, which was crafted to arrange the right to same-sex marriage, passed the Senate with bipartisan support last week. Pelosi called it a major victory for freedom, dignity, and equality for all. Prince Harry and African-American Meghan Markle will be in New York City tonight to receive a major award. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be honored with the Robert F. Kennedy Ripple of Hope Award for their work on racial justice and mental health. Prince Harry has been outspoken about PTSD suffered by many veterans and his own struggle with depression following the death of his mother, Princess Diana. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Dell's Days of Deals start now with savings on select XPS laptops and Alienware PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors, plus savings on accessories and free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Is this the tether? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Kawhi Leonard knocked down a jumper with 1.4 seconds left in the game to give the Clippers a 2-point win at Charlotte. The five-time All-Star appeared in his first game since November 21st. Leonard finished with 16 points. The Lakers go for their fourth straight win tonight at Cleveland. USC's Caleb Williams is one of four quarterbacks named a finalist for this year's Heisman Trophy Award. The other three, Ohio State's C.J. Stroud, Georgia's Stetson Bennett, and Max Duggan of Texas Christian. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford is done for the season. In addition to his concussion symptoms, he was diagnosed with a spinal bruise. The Rams are 3-9 and headed for a last-place finish in the NFC West. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to your settlement, we're a slam dunk. Call 833-MVP-WINS or check their website at themvp.com for a free case review.
When you're the victim of a car accident, hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for your free consultation.
Call on me, your MVP.
Over 100 million people around the world have felt the thrill of Broadway's most spectacular musical, Disney's The Lion King. And now you can too. Experience this breathtaking theatrical event and see why the New York Times declares there is simply nothing else like it.
Give the gift that roars at the Pantages Theater, February 2nd through March 26th. Visit BroadwayInHollywood.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I was able to speak with one of the panelists, the owner of Kids Love. Take a listen.
So Kids Love, KIDSLUV, is a first-to-market zero-sugar vitamin-enhanced functional beverage for kids.
So the zero sugar is really important because if not, the sugar gets on the teeth, it can cause cavities. So as a mom, I love this vitamins and hydration in one. Tell us what's happening here with Chase Bank today.
So I would say, I think what Chase is trying to do is create a community actually for entrepreneurs, a place where people can go. They have the space to do it. It's a beautiful space, and to be able to have these conversations. There are so many benefits to being a women-owned and certified business, from a standpoint of getting into stores, not paying the slotting fees of what it takes to be in stores. So I think Chase is trying to bring awareness to a lot of the things that people just don't know about, that not only the bank can help, but outside of the bank, their relationships can help create.
That's beautiful. And I know, this is how we build equity in communities of color, is kind of spreading that information and that knowledge. So thank you for being here today and doing your part and letting these women know that it is possible.
For KBLA 1580, I'm Maisha Cairo in the community with Chase.
California has millions of homes that could be damaged in a strong earthquake, and earthquakes are inevitable in the Golden State. An older home is especially vulnerable to earthquake damage, so you may need to take steps to strengthen it and help reduce the chance of damage. Visit strengthenmyhouse.com to learn about better protecting your home from earthquake damage. The work may cost less than you think and can often be completed in a few days. You've worked hard to get a home. Now's the time to protect it. Get prepared today so you can worry less tomorrow. Visit strengthenmyhouse.com.
If you're a Los Angeles Department of Water and Power residential customer, listen to this. LADWP now offers convenient monthly billing through the new Level Pay program. Level Pay helps you budget for your utility bill with a predictable monthly amount that can also include past due balances. You'll know exactly how much you need to pay each month. Don't wait. Sign up today for Level Pay by calling 1-800-DIAL-DWP. That's 1-800-DIAL-DWP.
Looking for legitimate political discourse without the bear spray? Tune in and speak out. KBLA Talk 1580.
Man, oh man, during the news and traffic, I went down a rabbit hole with the Supreme Court, Dr. Horn. Supreme Court has got some really kind of scary stuff on the docket right now. The issue of voting and we're talking about the outcomes of this election. We're still dealing with the impact of the big lie, Donald Trump's assertion this past week that we should just rip up the parts of the Constitution that don't support his big lie. And now the Supreme Court is
the egomaniac.
Yeah, and a dangerous egomaniac. But the Supreme Court is now looking at this case, which could give more power over voting to the states.
To the states, yeah, but it would violate the 15th Amendment. The 15th Amendment is not a document that protects states' rights. It says that federally, African Americans and other folk have the right to vote, and states cannot interfere in that. Now, it's clear that John Roberts, the supposed head of the Supreme Court, and other conservatives don't seem to be that interested in maintaining the rights guaranteed by the 15th Amendment. But let me say it this way. If that goes backwards, if they make a backward decision, what I can guarantee is that they are going, the Democrats, before they're through, are going to change the number of Supreme Court justices. It would no longer be 9. It might be 13. They are going to add at least 3 other justices to the Supreme Court. If they make that decision to essentially eviscerate the 15th Amendment and the Voting Rights Act, then there'll be real consequences to the Supreme Court in this country, and that would be a shame. The court system is really the primary reason that democracy has survived in this country.
So you don't agree with expanding the court? This case is Moore versus Harper, and it's just, to me, it seems like another power grab by Republicans who control a lot of state legislatures where they feel they can overturn elections or change rules to make sure their people win, even if they don't have the majority.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And that's unconstitutional. There are constitutional protections against all of that.
Okay, well,
the court just has to support. Your court just has to support what the Constitution says. The 15th Amendment clearly says what that case is about. That state power is illegal.
Well, okay, so they're also looking at whether or not this lady who makes websites can refuse. She wants to make wedding websites. Whether she can refuse LGBTQ plus people if it conflicts with her religion. They're arguing she has freedom of speech.
She's probably going to win that case.
Really? Which, I mean, basically legalizes discrimination. I mean, re-legalizes discrimination. Because if I can say, based on my religious beliefs, I don't want to serve black people or Asian people or disabled people, and that's my freedom of speech, where does it stop?
That's a very good question. But I don't think the court is going to make a determination based on that second question. Where does it stop? I think they're going to try to do a narrow decision that is going to let that proprietor do what she wants to do.
Yeah, well, the women on the court certainly seem to be pushing back on this, but I wouldn't be at all surprised. And you don't see the same kind of consequences if they make that dumb decision.
No, I don't. There will be a lot of flack. There'll be a lot of feedback, but no, I don't see the same kind of disruption that would occur if the case giving states more power in elections, that case going the wrong way would have major consequences for American democracy.
Yep. I mean, and it's partly based on this idea of gerrymandering, where Republicans are drawing maps so they can win without having vote majorities, which is just crazy.
Well, and gerrymandering is actually illegal. As bad as it is legal. But gerrymandering is not supposed to end up depriving African Americans and others of the right to vote. That's what the 15th Amendment says. You can't do that. So the court would actually be eviscerating what is still settled law if they vote to allow North Carolina to have that power.
Also hearing,
I don't think that's going to happen there.
Also hearing that the Supreme Court is likely to overturn President Biden's student loan debt relief. It's gotten all the way to the Supreme Court, given the fact that these are extreme conservative activists on the court. They're saying that they're likely to overturn it. A really bad look for Republicans, I think, having seized control of the court through shady means, and now just imposing their agenda, which is completely at odds with what the American people want, starting with Roe v. Wade and now this.
Exactly, but that particular case simply comes down to, does the executive branch of government have the authority to eviscerate actions taken by private companies? Virtually all of those loans had to be approved by the education department, as part of the executive branch. So since they have to be approved by the executive, what Biden is saying is we are now taking our approval away. So those loans should not have to be repaid. So it comes down to power, the power of the executive branch versus the power of individual businesses.
Mm. Well, I hope that if they do make that ruling, that they pay the consequences with the people. Dr. Horn, we've got Ronnie from Orange County on the phone for you. Good morning, Ronnie.
Good morning, and thank you. And Dr. Horn, you reminded me 9 months ago that you're from behind the cotton curtain, and I just love that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a good one. And now we're looking, hopefully, for the peach curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me get right to the point. I call in Katie Porter in Orange County. Orange County has been now for 3 election cycles blue. I called in frantically to Dominique earlier in the year about what can we do to stay blue. And, she said get involved. Duh.
Okay.
So I started phone banking for Katie Porter,
Good involvement, brother. Good involvement.
Right. I want to get to the case of my point real quick to preserve time. My point is about Ronald Reagan and the mental hospitals. I believe, based on my studies, and it's not a lot of information, when Ronald Reagan turned out the mental institutions here in California, I believe that he used the moniker that the counties and the cities know better how to take care of their own constituents. Now, I'm wondering, is this a point to where we have to sue California, county by county, and dumping in L.A.?
That may be an option to take. But, yeah, the Republicans have been pushing the whole idea that states have the authority over, our bodies, the medical, as well as the occupational situations. They have been pushing that states' rights issue for a very long time. And you're right, Reagan did push that about the hospital should be controlled by the state governments and not the federal governments. Part of the problem is that the hospital personnel, just like a lot of educators, cannot get the proper pay and proper benefits that they need because they are controlled by, local government as opposed to the federal government. My advocacy is that educators and hospital workers should be federalized. They should basically be part of the federal government, get federal benefits and pay, etc.
Sounds like a step towards Medicare for all. We'll continue this conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Will Smith opens up about the infamous Oscar slap. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News. As a guest on The Daily Show, Will Smith opened up to Trevor Noah about the incident with the Oscar host and comedian Chris Rock at this year's Oscars. Will Smith, who won his first Academy Award later that night, was promoting his forthcoming film, Emancipation, when he spoke with Noah about what life has been like since the shocking incident.
That was a horrific night, as you can imagine. There's many nuances and complexities to it, but at the end of the day, I lost it. And you just never know what somebody's going through. Not that justifies my behavior at all. We just got to be nice to each other, man. The thing that was most painful for me is I took my heart and made it hard for other people. I understood the idea where they say hurt people. Yeah.
I'm Maisha Cairo, and that's your K-Black Minute News.
Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare for being KBLA Talk 1580's Office of the Week. Enter your business today in the KBLA app or KBLA1580.com for the Office of the Week. Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare.
The Institute for Diversity Certification is all about the 3 Ds: dedication, determination, and discipline. Learn more about our globally recognized diversity certification program today by calling 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192 or visit diversitycertification.org. As the #1 organization for certified diversity professionals and also certified diversity executive credentials, diversitycertification.org will provide an opportunity for you to demonstrate dedication to the field, determination to make progress, and more discipline to your process. Go today and learn more about the diversity certification system. Call 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192. Or go to diversitycertification.org. That's diversitycertification.org. The standard of excellence, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, it's funny, Dr. Horn, you're talking about federalizing healthcare workers. Kind of makes sense given what we've just been through with the pandemic. What about all these, what about teachers and academic aides? We've got this ongoing UC strike right here in California. Now the UTLA is rallying, looking like they might hit the streets again.
The university, it was clear they were going to capitulate. They cannot do without the part-time workers, the graduate students, that kind of thing. They can't do without them. So they had to eventually capitulate. The regular teachers, elementary, junior high school teachers, they cannot, it is a shame that this country prides itself on paying them such low salaries and treating them in such low regard. A country that does not support its teaching of the youth seem like, those countries seem to be on a pathway to destruction. You must always support the teachers. And in order to get the kind of pay and benefits and respect that public school teachers need to get in this country, I'm advocating that they become federalized. They become federal employees as opposed to just simply being dealt with county by county, city by city kind of thing. Otherwise they fall victim to too many silly people. They should be part of the federal government. Then they'll get the proper pay and benefits.
Let's hope so. I haven't talked to you since the whole racist, gerrymandering, sexist, misogynist, anti-indigenous city council scandal here in Los Angeles. And, people still trying to get Kevin De Leon to step down. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I know that city charter doesn't allow for the city council to just fire him or the mayor to just fire him. But a lot of people don't want business as usual until he's out of there.
But they can't do anything about it. The number one, that whole fiasco, even though we call it racism, even though we rightly condemned the conversations and the people who participated in the conversations, even if they didn't make the negative comments. We call it racism and treating it just as we do white folks when they go nuts. And we shouldn't do that. That means we'll never solve the problem. Latinos talking badly and calling us monkeys and insulting us, that's competition. That's group competition. That's cultural competition. That's not about racism. They're not a race, so they can't be, they're not talking about racism. But
what do you mean they're not a race? You mean brown people, Latino people's not a race?
No, they're not.
The census might beg to differ.
They are not a race. They are a group of cultural entities. They're not even one group, even though they speak a somewhat similar language. They don't even all speak the same Spanish. They will. Those who speak Castilian Spanish will tell you in a heartbeat. No, I don't speak that guttural nonsense.
Yeah, but you can still understand it. I mean, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I think it could be both. I think anyone calling a black child, a toddler, a monkey, and comparing them to a purse is racist. But I understand what you're saying. It's white supremacy. I mean, it's standing on and promoting the tenets of white supremacy.
Right, but it's ethnocentrism. It is group competition. It is not. This is not race.
Well, I don't believe in race. I don't believe in the construct anyway. But okay, when we come forward, Dr. Horn, I want to get your take on what we ought to be doing then, since you say can't do anything about it. You could always do something. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Where do holiday happenings take over every aisle? Lowe's, actually. Right now, you'll save big on everything you need for the holiday season. Get up to 50% off select pre-lit Christmas trees and holiday living LED string lights. Plus, save on your gift list with up to 50% off select tools and accessories. The holidays are here, and so are the savings. Only at Lowe's. Offers valid through 12/14. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh my goodness, time flies on the radio. Dr. David Horn, I want to just get your quick take on what you think ought to happen with Kevin De Leon. Of course, Gil Cedillo is now out as of Monday, well, next Monday. And what you want to leave us with this morning. You'll have to come back and we got to do a whole conversation on reparations, but just what you want to leave us with today.
About Mr. De Leon, his constituents would have to turn against him. Or unless somebody can come up with a legal case to file against him, but microaggressions and verbal insults are not enough to take somebody to court over in general. So if his constituents don't turn against him, and they don't seem to have any indication that they're going to do that.
A lot of his constituents have been out protesting him. I mean, I was out at the encampment at his house before he moved out of there, and it was a lot of people from the neighborhood out there.
But none of them have moved to engage the political process and call for him to be to recall him. They haven't done that.
Actually, I think there's a recall, but I understand what you're saying. We don't know if that will even be successful.
No, it won't. He's going to finish his term is what's going to happen. And sometimes a little fire against fire helps. You want to insult me, I'll insult you. You want to insult me, I'll insult you until you understand you need to back away. But this is not, it's a much longer conversation, but this is not racism. And I've had with some other people who definitely disagree with that. But we need to have a much longer conversation. I totally agree with you. But the expect one up to win, number one. We need to make sure we are clearly represented in every area of politics in this country, because that's where decisions are being made that affect our communities. You know, we have to congratulate and sing the praises of our new mayor, Karen Bass. You know, may she be successful and may she help the city move forward. And with that, I say stay involved, keep pushing. We will get to the highest level that we deserve if we stay in the fight.
Yeah. It says here that November 3rd, apparently there was a filing of a recall. They only have 120 days to get 25,000 signatures. So we'll see if that moves forward.
It's not going to work. They are not going to recall him.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I sure hope you're wrong, but you could be right. You never know. White supremacy, racism, to me, they're interchangeable. I understand what you're saying, but I think we have a lot more to talk about this. So I hope you ready to get up early with me again sometime soon. And I thank you so much for your insights on local, national, and Supreme Court issues facing us today.
You're quite welcome, Dominique. Anytime.
All right, you know where you are. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Right now we've got news, traffic, and sports, and then our daily deep dive. Looking forward to the conversation with accomplished journalist and professor Jeffrey Henson Scales is joining us. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network.